waking up the tri-state each weekday. It's the My Morning Show with Bobby and Liberty on My 105.3.
It's the My Morning Show with Bobby and Liberty on My 105.3. Taylor Maris is here. She's the Special Projects Coordinator for the Evansville Police Department. And when she joins us, it's time for You Down with EPD?
Yeah, you know me.
All right, so we've got to get into this story that you started to tell me.
It's a very serious story.
It is.
It's, I guess, Goosegate 2024.
I had Goosegate 2022, so...
That was 2 years ago you got attacked by a goose? Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. It was traumatic for her.
I'm sure.
And you... last week experienced a run-in with a goose? Tell me about this, Taylor.
So I left headquarters to go to Chick-fil-A. I got my Chick-fil-A and all of its goodness. And then I was going back to headquarters. So I was traveling west on the Lloyd. And I had just passed Burkhart and traffic was stopped. And I'm like, oh man, there's going to be an accident. I got this fresh food. I'm going to have to work this accident. Well, about that time when I'm playing in my head, like what's really going on, I see a goose and some goslings in the little median there. And I'm like, oh, they're stopped for the goose. So I turn my lights on, go around them, actually drive over the median and stop all of eastbound traffic on the Lloyd.
Trying to help the geese.
Yeah. So there were mom and dad and then maybe like 4 or 5 goslings. Well, one of them decides to just lay down on the road. And so
because they're evil.
I'm trying to like shove it with my foot, but not like hurt it. Like, you need to go. Let's go. And it's not doing anything. And Daddy Goose keeps looking back at me. And so I'm able to scoop him up. And I take him over to the road, put him down in the grass on the other side of the road. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. I actually got him across the road. There were people honking and cheering. Great job. Yeah. I wanted to like take a bow. Like, this was amazing. This was
is
so
a cool
great.
thing. Yeah.
Well, then I realize, even though they've made it across the road, there's a pretty high curb to get to the grass and like over by the apartment complex there across from Best Buy. So then I pull my car over to the turn lane and I'm trying to like coerce them to go up in the grass, but they can't because the curb is so high.
Oh, no.
Then I realize there's a storm grate coming up. I'm like, well,
no.
I can't just have rescued these goslings and then they end up in the storm drain. So then I hustle up there and stop them from going in the drain. And I'm trying to, again, like kind of give him a little nudge with my foot to get him into the grass, and it's not working. So I just start to slowly bend down while I'm staring at Daddy Goose that's like hissing at me and has its tongue out. I'm assessing if there's like any kind of teeth in there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're eye level. I'm eye level with this goose.
Face to face.
It just flies straight at me. And so I start flailing around and I don't even... I'm sure it was only 5 seconds, but it bit me in the elbow.
Oh, my gosh.
And then some people from, I think it was like Tell City, it was like a work truck. They stopped, a couple of ladies, like, do you need some help? And I said, yeah, the goose attacked me. And so I was like, do you have a shovel or something?
Let's put an end to this right now.
That's probably what they thought.
Right.
And then they pulled over and gave me their shovel, and I was able to scoop the goslings into the grass.
Gotcha. Well, are you okay, though? Have you healed?
I have. It's a great story.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, I mean, I can officially add being attacked by a goose to my,
We're in a club now together. Is this going to like affect you wanting to do Walking Wednesdays? Or does that provide extra training for you now?
I think extra training. Just flail. Just do the flailing method.
We're talking with Taylor Maris from the Evansville Police Department. And starting today, you're starting back up, I should say, Walking Wednesdays. Explain what that is.
We pick an area and just walk it from 1 to 3. And the people that walk are typically people from administration, like the chief, public information officer, myself, assistant chief, whoever can make it that day. And then crime prevention officers. And so what we do is we just put ourselves in the environment of the citizens in Evansville. And if they want to talk to us about problems in the neighborhood or just share with us, some of the stories we've heard is, for example, like I've lived in my house for 50 years and I've seen this change and that change. And it's just so cool to hear different stories from people that have lived in that area, that community, and they're so proud of it. And you get to really know people that way. If you see a group of us walking down the street just leisurely, feel free to pop out and say, hey, what's going on?
There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
It's just, just a stroll. I would encourage anybody listening to maybe find maybe a stuffed goose animal
No.
and give it to Taylor as
No, that's very traumatic and it's still fresh. I mean, her wound has got bandaged up. I don't know.
You stop it. You're exaggerating.
We both have weird goose disease
you have
now.
you have mental wounds
I
that
had
haven't
it like
healed.
spit on my elbow too.
We have Gosling disease. Does that have anything to do with Ryan
I wish.
Gosling?
So Taylor, do you know where you're going to be walking today? Is that something you want to make known?
Yeah, we will be in the Aiken Neighborhood Association today. So between 1 and 3, kind of around like Aiken Park, I imagine. And then ironically, May 8th, so next Wednesday, Goosetown
Are you
Neighborhood
really going to be in
Association.
Goosetown?
Oh my gosh.
That is the universe just laughing at you.
Pounds
Yes.
of goose.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, so keep an eye out today in that area for Taylor and some of the other folks from the Evansville Police Department. And this has been another edition of You Down with EPD.
Yeah, you know me.